Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Gotta give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. The Most High, the Heavenly Father, his Hebrew name is Yahweh. Not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Most High, not Lord, not Yah, not Jah, not Ahaya, not Allah, not Abba, not Yahuwah. It's Yahweh. And his only begotten son name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shai. Not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christos, not Yeshaya, not Yehoshua. It's Yahweh Shai. So we got to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekah, Quarash. Double honors to the apostles and the bishops and elders, great millstone, who well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, whether you can accept it or not. And a sincere salutation to all the can pushing this truth and believing this truth with the full ends of the earth, the entire world shedding light to the hopeful elect. Shalom to the outward who are listening, learning. Ye few sisters who are listening, learning. Coming into another lesson of truth, facts, faith, and edification. Another day's edification. Lord willing to be edifying. Another Saturday edification. And I titled this lesson, y'all were designed to destroy yourselves. And I'm just going to play a couple of minutes of this, because this is the guy, Jeffrey Sachs. And he always goes in on the elites, but never mentioning the elites. So I'm gonna play a couple minutes of this and get a handful of precepts, or two hands full of precepts. Lord willing to be edifying. Turn the volume down. So listen to what him and this guy say.
Professor, welcome. What I see, what I see in what is happening now in Gaza, I see a certain analogy in the way that the media and the governments react to what is happening, as if there's no context, no history before that. And I see the analogy, but the way that the war in Ukraine is being portrayed, namely, what is totally lacking from our information to the public is context and history. It's for Ukraine, and it's for Gaza, the same thing. Do you concur, or do you have a different view on those things?
Well, what we're learning is how poorly we act to avoid conflict, because this war now raging in Israel and Palestine and the war in Ukraine were both completely avoidable through diplomacy. We don't seem to do diplomacy anymore. We turn our eyes away from terrible problems when they explode in terrible ways. Then we say, oh, now we need a military solution to them. This doesn't work. And clearly, the leaders in the United States understood nothing of Ukraine and understood nothing of the Israel-Palestine issue.
See, he said the leaders of the United States understand nothing. Who are the leaders of the United States, man? The elites control the world from America and Israel, man. You see that? Talking in code.
Indeed, our national security advisor, Jake Sullivan, said and wrote just a week before the October 7th massacre and now the war in Gaza that the Middle East is quieter than it's been in 20 years. This shows clearly a complete lack of understanding. So the problem is our governments do not understand what's going on the ground, either in Ukraine or in Israel and Palestine, nor I would say in most other parts of the world, because I'm traveling to these places all the time. I see.
You see, he said they don't have no understanding. That's scripture, man. He's speaking prophecy and don't even know it. Listen.
What's on the ground. I know that especially the United States government is blind to ground realities. And unfortunately, for some weird reason, Europe became NATO, which means US policy, rather than Europe, as I used to know it, which was a European sensibility. So we are very confused, but basically the United States is confused and Europe is confused by
recordings just got better. Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited.
by following a confused United States.
That is something that I can totally agree with, and that we on our website portray in a similar way, namely a total lack of understanding, and also a total lack, if I may add, of respect for other views on the issues, as if how we see things is the way and there's no other way to see things. But is it just this cultural, political EU, because you mentioned the EU as well, or is there more to it? For example, there are also people that say, well, actually they knew this was going to happen, and they said, okay, that's good, we want those walls. That's a very, very, very sharp view. I differ on those things, but there are elements within policy making that make you think, well, actually they could have, if they wanted, avoided this, but there are some elements that just do not want this to be solved in a peaceful manner. Would you agree?
Well, I would say I know the American leaders. They're not very clever. That's all. This is not some. This is not some dark conspiracy. They don't understand. They don't know what they're doing. And the reason, by the way, is an extreme arrogance. They don't try to understand. They think.
See, this is the point I want to make in this lesson. They don't have no understanding. Why? Because Proverbs 21:1 reads, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. He controlled them. As rivers of water, he turned them. This is beautiful, man. Prophecy being spoken.
Power defines reality. In fact, we had people who said, what is reality? It's the way we define reality. That was in the Bush administration. But this is the same behavior of this crowd. It's basically one kind of neocon ideology which has prevailed in Washington for years. What's the essence of it? The essence of it is we are the strongest superpower in the history of the world. Biden just repeated it again. He's a tired old man who doesn't understand what's going on in the world, and he's surrounded apparently by, I just find him devoid of knowledge. So no, it's not a conspiracy. It's just stupidity often, because there were many opportunities to learn more, and they don't even try to learn. They don't try to see it from the perspective of the other side. That's the biggest problem. And that's the problem of our media also. They don't ask any questions. They just know the other side's evil, so we don't even have to listen to what the other side says. And this is an incredibly naive position. Of course, the media are basically just repeating the narratives coming out of the governments.
And what he just said, they said, America said they the greatest superpower in history, right? What did the Lord say in Psalms 75:4? It reads, I said unto the fools, deal not foolishly, and to the wicked, lift not up your horn, lift not up the horn, lift not up your horn on high, speak not with a stiff neck. It's all, we can't make this all prophecy, man.
Europe is basically repeating the narratives coming out of Washington, and Washington is like a giant without a head. They don't think anymore. They don't look. They just say, we're so powerful, we can do what we want. And it's failing everywhere. That's the problem. It's unraveling. And it's sad.
It's unraveling. Everything he's saying, we can get precepts for it. It's unraveling. Jeremiah 49:10, the Lord said he made Esau barren, man.
Your city, by the way, a wonderful city. The biggest mistake Europe made, in my opinion, if I may say so, was to put NATO headquarters and European Union headquarters in the same place. These are two completely different things.
Well,
And they should be completely different things.
And see, this is the division. This is the division. This is Job 15:5. It reads, For thy mouth uttereth thine iniquity, and thou choosest the tongue of the crafty. Thy own mouth condemneth thee, and not I. Yeah, thy own lips testify against thee.
Well, I'm already I was quite young, but I remember why NATO headquarters moved from Paris, where they were originally, to Brussels, and the Belgian authorities they just did it for mercantile reasons, so they had jobs, buildings, stuff. That's how low the standard was to accepting a military organization like that. But you mentioned arrogance, ignorance, and so on. I do recognize that in our own EU and EU member states governments, but without the power. I simply do not understand, if you look at European history, how they have become so willingly dependent on whatever Washington, D.C. says. I just don't get it because it goes against their economic interests.
See, they don't get it. What he just said, he don't get. Well, this is Revelation 17:17. For God hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and to do what, Lord? And give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of God shall be fulfilled. See, everything that they speak, they are speaking in this. We can get precepts, man, because it's prophecy. This is the will of Yahweh Shema Shai.
And at the end of the day, it's all about economics, right?
I spoke to a leader in Europe who, as usual, I was complaining that Europe doesn't speak up for its own interests. He said, Jeff, they treat us like children in Washington. Now, why you would
Why is that? Because the scriptures say, let's read it. Isaiah 3:12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee, call thee to err, and to destroy the way of thy paths. Children are our oppressors, man. And they are oppressing everybody. Let's listen some more.
let yourself be treated like children is quite another matter. Europe is
Don't the scripture say, as the king is, so is the people? Let me get this in the Proverbs 29. I ain't even got my precept yet. Proverbs 29:12. If a ruler hearken to lies, all his servants are wicked. So it says in Sirach 10, if the king is wicked, all the people is wicked. So if the king is children, everybody else is children.
Europe is history of 3,000 years. The United States is young, arrogant, and ignorant by those standards. Why doesn't Europe tell Washington something about how to behave with all the experience Europe had with wars, with all of the breakthroughs that Europe had in forming a true...
He said America is young, ignorant, young, arrogant, and ignorant. What is that in Isaiah 2? Let me get this. Isaiah 2 and 11. The lofty looks of man shall be humbled, and the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down, and Yahweh alone shall be exalted in that day. For the day of Yahweh of hosts shall be upon everyone that is proud and lofty, and upon everyone that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low, which is that prophecy in Genesis 3:14 about them being brought low and being the basis of men again, which is your original, your natural habitation.
Community or union. Why doesn't Europe share some knowledge, avoid the wars? I'll give you an example. The precipitating cause of the Ukraine war is this NATO enlargement, this constant drumbeat. We're going to surround Russia with our military bases everywhere. Anyone that doesn't understand this just hasn't been paying attention for decades to this. Now, in 2008, when George W. Bush Jr., not the brightest of our presidents, I might say, this is pretty clear, when he pushed NATO enlargement to Ukraine at the Bucharest NATO summit,
And Jordan,
European leaders said to me at the time, "My God, what's your president doing? This is so dangerous. This is so provocative. Why is he doing this?" But they all said it privately. And then the United States pushed and they said, okay, we won't set a roadmap, but we'll make the commitment and so forth. Oh, come on.
See, he said because they know who's in control, man. Them that sit behind the scene, man.
This is really weak. And you could watch the steps one by one to how this comes to war in the end, especially the big step in February 2014 when the United States helped to overthrow the Ukraine government, because the Ukraine government, the president Yanukovych, was for neutrality rather than for NATO enlargement.
Now he said the big idea is goal in the end, man. I mean, which is war in the end, Salakia. And that's Revelation chapter 9 and 12. One woe is past, and behold, there'll come two woes more hereafter. Revelation 11 and 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. This is the whole goal, man. Who control both sides of war? Those that sit behind the scene, whom they will not speak about.
And again, the European leaders went along with this. Come on.
See?
This is sensible?
Again, I gotta read it again. They don't have no choice but to go along with it, man. Revelation 17 and 17. For God have put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of God shall be fulfilled. Who? Revelation 17 and 16, and the 10 horns, EU, which thou hast sawest upon the beast. These shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. The 10 horns is talking about the EU nations. For God hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of power shall be fulfilled, man. Once the elect get sealed, everything is going to break forth. The four wind that the angel holding back in Revelation 7 is going to break loose, man. But not until the elect get sealed. This is when the words of the Lord shall be finished.
Is safe? This is prudent? No. And then the European leaders went along with completely dissing the Minsk II agreement, which was a chance, ratified by the UN Security Council to actually make some peace. Again, Belgium is a good example. Belgium, it's complicated, binational country, not always getting along. It's a complicated history. Belgium should understand Ukraine has a similar problem. That's what Minsk II was about. Okay, couldn't a Belgian leader stand up and tell the truth to say to the Ukrainians, probably better. We have some experience with this.
Belgium ain't gonna say nothing, man. They one of the 10 horns, man. They are a part of the beast system. They don't have power to say nothing, man.
We had to even divide the library of the University of Louvain because, every other book had to go to the other university. Belgium went through this. So why can't there be some shared wisdom in Ukraine? You really should have a federal system. You really should have some decentralization. I know the Americans, they're so stupid. When Minsk II came, they told the Ukrainians, oh, don't worry about it. We want a unitary state. We like the Western Ukrainians in charge right now. You don't have to give in. Even when the UN Security Council backs this, even when France and Germany and the Normandy process say, we are the guarantors of the Minsk II agreement. So, I think the mainstream media, by the way, I don't know what got into them, but they don't do their job, which is why we're talking, because the mainstream media would have all the eyes on them, but nobody believes them anymore because they don't tell anything about the real context in which these crises are occurring. And people sense that, they know that. That's why they're looking for alternative sources of information.
So that's all I want to play. You hear it, man. These Edomites are through. Let's get these precepts. Y'all were designed to destroy yourselves. Period, man. Now, let me pull this up. In Matthew 11, chapter 12, let me get it. See, as it say in 2nd Ezra 5 and 42, this is Matthew 11 and 12. In 2nd Ezra 5 and 42, let me read it. It reads this, 2nd Ezra 5 and 42. It reads, and he said unto me, I will liken my judgment unto a ring. Like as there is no slackness of the last, even so there is no swiftness of the first. Let me get this in Jeremiah. This is Jeremiah 16 and 19, which you're talking about Israelites, but it applies to these bastards today, those that's in rulership. O Yahweh, my strength and my fortress and my refuge in the day of affliction, the Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth, which are Israelite foreigners, and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. And that's what you hear that guy complaining about their forefathers. See, they have inherited the lies of their forefathers too, man. Ecclesiasticus 41. We just heard it. Ecclesiastes 41 and 5. It reads 41 and Ecclesiastes 41 and 7. The children will complain of an ungodly father because they shall be reproached for his sakes. Now let's back this up in Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes 4 and 16. There is no end of all the people, even of all that have been before them. They also that come after shall not rejoice. Why? Because they shall be reproached for their father's sake. Surely this also is vanity and vexation of spirit. Let me get this in Job 21. You know, I'm finna let them fly off the handle. Job 21 and 19. God layeth up his iniquity for his children. He rewardeth him, and he shall know it. His eyes shall see his destruction, and he shall drink of the wrath of the Almighty. See? Job 27. Let's read this one. This is Job 27. In verse 13. This is the portion of a wicked man with God, and the heritage of oppressors, which they shall receive of the Almighty. If his children be multiplied, it is for the sword, and his offspring shall not be satisfied with bread. So we are watching them complain of their nation. So again, as the title say, y'all were designed to destroy yourselves. Now, those are precepts. I want to make the point to bring in this lesson. This is Matthew 11 and 12. Because what you sow in the earth, as it tell you in Galatians 6, you got to reap that, man. Because this is how the Lord set it up. And as I love to look at this word Hamas right here, spiritual, man. Matthew 11 and 12, and from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffered violence, and the violent take it by force. Who is the violent? Esau, even the so-called white man. What is that in Psalms 40? Psalms 140? This ain't one of my precepts, but let's read it. The kingdom of heaven suffered violence, and the violent took it by force. Let's back it up with a precept. This is Psalms 140 and 1. Deliver me, O Yahweh, from the evil man. Preserve me from who? From the violent man, which imagine mischief in their heart. Continually are they gathered together for war. Yeah, this him, man. So, again, Matthew 11 and 12, and from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffered violence, and the violent take it by force. So what's going to happen to Esau, Edom, the so-called white man? Oh, I meant to get this precept too. Let me pull this up. Did it say Esau shall be cut off by slaughter? Let me get this. There's another precept I want to bring out. I want to hold that too. That's that in Obadiah 1:9. Right. Let me hold this. There's another precept I meant to write down for my lesson. I like to put my precepts together for the title. Anyway, so again, and from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffered violence, and the violent take it by force. That was Esau, Edom, man. So what they are doing, it was all designed from the Lord, right? When you go to Romans 9, the Lord said he fashioned. Matter of fact, let me go to it. In Romans 9, out of Rebekah came two nations, right? So this is Romans 9 and around about 21. So out of Isaac and Rebekah, there came two nations, right? So the Lord said, Romans 9 and 21, have not the potter power over the clay of the same lump? What is this lump? This lump will be Isaac's sperm. This will be Isaac's sperm. Go read Genesis 25, start at 21, and find out that the Lord said two nations was in her womb. Two manner of people shall be separated. Okay? Have not the potter power over the clay, which is the Lord, of the same lump? That lump will be the seed of Isaac, to make one vessel unto honor, that'll be Jacob, and another unto dishonor. So out of Isaac's seed, one lump, the sperm, came Esau and Jacob, one to honor, one to dishonor, right? Now, in Isaiah 45 and 9, it reads, woe unto him that striveth against his maker, that striveth with his maker. Let the potsherd strive with the potsherds of the earth. Shall the clay say to him that fashioned it, what makest thou? Or the work, thy work, he have no hands. So who fashioned the clay? The Lord did, man. The Lord did. Isaiah, let's get this other one. Isaiah 29 and 16. The Lord made two vessels out of one lump, man. Isaiah 29 and 16. Surely your turn of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. Why does it say this? Let's see what the translation say. Let me see what the other Bible. I want to see what one of the other Bibles say before we go into it. NIV say, you'll turn things upside down as if the potter were thought to be like the clay. Let me see what NLT say. NET say, your thinking is perverse. Should the potter be regarded as clay? No, that's off. Let's see what the NLT say. NLT, how foolish can you be? He is the potter, and he is certainly greater than you, the clay. So going back, man. Again, Isaiah 29 and 16, it reads, surely you're turning of things upside down. And we understand what this means. Because the so-called white man turned the world upside down with his iconoclasm, with his Renaissance art, his rebirth. He came out the cave in Revelation 20. And what came with the so-called white man was a doctrine and an image. There was an image that came with the so-called white man, which is Jesus Christos, Jesus Christ. And a religion, a gospel, a religion, a philosophy came with that image, which is his philosophies, man. Surely your turn of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he have none understanding? No, man. The Lord made you people, you Edomites, the so-called white race, to be the wicked, crooked, perverse. This is Job 14:4. Had to make them points first. And it reads, Shalom to all the Akhmat tuning in. Yahweh Shema Shah Barakathon. Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one. Who can do this? Nobody. Why? Ecclesiastes. This is Ecclesiastes 7:13. Nobody can bring a clean thing out of an unclean. This is Ecclesiastes 7:13. Consider the work of God, for who can make that straight which he have made crooked? See? Consider the work of the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shah, for who can make that straight which he have made crooked? That's why they are known as the crooked serpent. The old serpent, the red dragon, the serpent of old, they are crooked, man. The Lord made them this way. Let me get the one. Because it said in Job 14:4, let's read this again. Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one. The precept by little link to that is Ecclesiasticus 34:4. Both of them is verse 4. It reads, of an unclean thing, what can be cleansed? Same thing is saying right here in Job 14:4. And from that which is false, what truth can come? They was made, the so-called white man was made to be false and unclean. Even though they clean lepers, you still got leprosy. And as apostle always say, why would the Lord send his only begotten son on earth as a leper, man? And it clearly tell you in Leviticus 13, it tell you that to have leprosy is a disease. It's a sin. That's why Moses and Aaron was crying to the Lord about Miriam, man, in Numbers 12. And what did it say? They was talking about Esau. They said, let her not be as one dead when he cometh out of his mother's womb. Let her not be as one half dead, whose flesh, let me just read it. Let her not be as one dead, whose flesh is half consumed when he cometh out of his mother's womb. Numbers 12. Why would they say this? Because they was talking about Esau, man. Numbers 12 and 12. This is what they said. Let's read 11. And Aaron said unto Moses, alas, my Lord, I beseech thee, lay not the sin upon us, wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned. Let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed when he cometh out of his mother's womb. They was talking about Esau right here, man. Yeah. So why would the Lord send his only begotten son on earth to go through trials, tribulations, adversities, and afflictions with leprosy, man? Don't worry, I'll wait. Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one. Ecclesiasticus 34:4. Of an unclean thing, what can be cleansed? And from that which is false, what truth can come? Nothing, man. Nothing. Jeremiah. Let's keep it moving. Jeremiah. This is Jeremiah 13:23. They were made. This is Jeremiah 13:23. Can the Ethiopian change his skin, or the leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil. What's accustomed mean? Let's find out.
Strong's H 3928. Limud. Limud. Second entry. Limud. Limud.
It's a taught, learned, disciplined, accustomed to something, instructed. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, was instructed. Another word is used. Used. What's the verse when it say, will a hammer boast itself against the hewer? Will an axe boast itself against the hewer? No, man. The Lord made you to be tools. He made you to be the wicked of the earth. He pulled you out the toolbox, cleaned you up, and using you. And after he's done, you're not going to be thrown back in the toolbox. The Lord is going to throw you in the fire, man. If you have no more use for this tool, it's full of blood. Ain't no more use for you, man. So right here again it say, can the Ethiopian change his skin or a leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil. See, they was made to do evil. Isaiah 26:10. It reads, let favor be showed to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. Why? Because they was accustomed to do evil. In the land of uprightness, where they at right now, will he deal unjustly and will not behold the majesty of the Lord. Now, in this video with Jeff Sachs I was watching, it's 23 minutes. I'm at 11 minutes now. They also mentioned how the land is being divided. They mentioned, I want to play the rest of the video. I'm already 11 minutes in. But he mentioned that the land is being divided and they fighting over divided land. This is what he said in the video. Well, in Amos 7, the Lord said our land shall be divided by line, man. This is prophecy. And I'm just listening to the news this morning. I was finna go into it. These bastards said they finna destroy the whole Gaza Strip, man. So nobody can return out of there, man. They want to destroy the whole strip, man. Man, they want to destroy the whole strip and get rid of all of these Palestinians, man. This is what they were talking about in the news this morning, man. In world news. All the bombings that was going on last night, they were showing. Just constant missiles firing, man. AR-15s and all these weapons in the Holy Land. In the Holy Land, let favor be showed to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly and will not behold the majesty of the Lord. They have no concerns of following the ways of the Lord. They got kosher pig over there, they say. Where the hell you get a kosher pig from? This is this is Ecclesiastes. These guys are the trip, man. This is Ecclesiastes 10 and 5. This is what Solomon's had to say. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceeded from the ruler. It isn't an error. The Lord set up the basis of men, man. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceeded from the ruler. Who's ruling the earth? The so-called white man. So the wickedness that they are doing in the earth, Solomon said, this got to be an error, man. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceeded from the ruler. No, the Lord set them up. He set up. Let's get it. Let's back this precept up. Daniel's 4:17, man. And it reads, this matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and set up over it the basis of men. This is what the Lord did, man. He set up the basis of men. I want to get this too. Let me pull this. Bear with me here. Instead of just going on the phone, I can just read it from right here. Let me go get this apocryphal. Let's read this in Ecclesiastes 33. Because it said the same difference about the clay, man. The Lord fashioned the clay. That Romans 9:21 I read. Out of the same lump, he made one vessel to honor and another to dishonor, man. You don't have to like it, but it's the truth, man. These are the words of the Heavenly Father through his only begotten Son, through his messengers. Ecclesiastes 33:10. Let me pull it up. And it reads, and all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of earth. In much knowledge, the Lord have divided them. That's in Deuteronomy 32:8. When it said the Most High separated the sons of Adam, man. Go read it. Same thing it's saying right here. In much knowledge, the Lord have divided them and made their ways diverse. Some of them have he blessed and exalted, and some of them have he sanctified, which means to be set near, set apart, to be made holy, and set near himself. But some of them have he cursed and brought low. And you already know I will go to Genesis 3:14. He cursed and brought low. The Lord brought them low, man. This is their prophecy. This is the prophecy of the so-called white man being brought back low. We just read Daniel 4:17. It said the basis of men. I was just reading Job. He will be brought low, man. That's what the Lord was talking to the serpent, man. On thy belly should I go, mean to be brought low and turn out of their places. See? Turn out of their places to do what? As it said, have to go around the earth and take over places that's not his and that's not theirs and set up landmarks. As the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him to render to them as liking him best. Same thing is said in Isaiah 29:16, Isaiah 45:9, Romans 9:21. Same thing. As the clay is in the potter's hand, which is Yahweh, through Yahweh Shai, to fashion it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him to render to him as liking him best. And he rendered to Esau wickedness and to Jacob righteousness. Good is set against evil and life against death. So the godly against the sinner and the sinner against the godly. So look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are what? 2 and 2, one against another. Esau against Jacob. Now, let me go back, because I want to go to the book of Habakkuk, right? And I could use the whole Bible in that apocrypha, but I want to go back to this just in case I want to go into a word. So let's go back to the blue letter. Now, this is Habakkuk. Now, again, I need you to remember what Esau did, man. What they did in Matthew 11:12. It said the kingdom of heaven, it said from the days of John the Baptist until now, The kingdom of heaven suffers violence, and the violent took it by force. The violent people is the so-called white man. As I read in Psalm 140 and 1, who's always prepared for war, man. Right? Bitter words, smooth words, but war is in their heart. That's the so-called white man. This is Habakkuk 1 and 6. Because I'm making the point of everything that they did, it got to return unto them. Beautiful precept. Let's read this. This is from GMS in his likeness, Proverbs 16 and 29. A violent man enticeth his neighbor and leadeth him into the way that is not good. That's Esau eating the so-called white man. Why? Because they're going to lose. Everything leads to them losing their power, man. The Bible, the prophecy of the Lord is leading to the so-called white man losing everything that he has stolen anyway. Oh, the law. When you read the law in Exodus 21, man, it tell you that whatever he stole, he had to get back 5. If he burnt down, he had to replenish everything, man. That's why I tell you in Job 20, he got to everything that he swallowed down, he heaped up, he got to give it all back. How? Blood, sweat, and tears, you bastards. Here, put this chain on, boy. Get back to work. I was just watching Django yesterday. Turn. Hey, we're going to sell you to the Sabians, and they're going to have you turning big rocks into little rocks. You can't make this up, man. What he said in the movie Django, we're going to sell you to the Dicky boys, and they're going to have you turning big rocks into little rocks. Nigga, that's in the scriptures. Right in Joel. We're going to sell Esau to the Sabians, and they're going to have them turning big rocks into little rocks. And you better not talk shit, because they'll cut your tongue out, and you won't bleed out. They good at it, too. Hey, yeah, everything in the scriptures, it leads to Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, and all these heathens. Put this chain on, you bitch. Put it on. Get back to work. Esau, you're going to be in the pit 24/7, you bastard. This is Habakkuk 1 and 6. Remember what they did in Matthew 11 and 12. From the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffered violence, and the violent took it by force. Habakkuk 1 and 6. For lo, the Lord said, what? I raise up the Chaldeans, that bitter, America mean bitter, that bitter and hasty nation. What are they going to do, Lord? We shall march through the breadth of the land. Didn't Alexander the Freak do this? The beginning rulership of the so-called white man was marched through the breadth of the land to possess the dwelling places that are not theirs. That's why the Lord say he turned them out of their places. I just read it. So if they don't have their own place, what are they going to do? What Cain did, he wandered around the earth as a vagabond, as a fugitive and a vagabond, just building cities, man. The Edomites, the so-called white people, are the descendants of the wicked seed line of Cain, man. They are terrible and dreadful. Their judgment and their dignity shall proceed themselves. What did let me bring this back out again? Ecclesiastes. Hold on, I gotta get it. Ecclesiastes. What was I at? 10. Let's read this again. What Solomon said. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceeded from the ruler. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place. The rich being Israel. See? So right here say, they are terrible and dreadful. Their judgment and their dignity shall proceed of themselves. See that? Their horses also are swifter than the leopards, and are more fierce than the evening wolves. And their horsemen, Salakia, and their horsemen shall spread themselves, which is their military. Over 700, 800 military bases around the world, man. And their horsemen shall spread themselves, just as it is today. America trying to defend Ukraine from Russia. They're trying to defend Taiwan from China. And now they definitely got to defend Israel from Iran. And their horsemen shall come from far. They shall fly as the eagle, which is on their mail trucks, that hasteneth to eat. What are they going to do, Lord? They shall come all for violence. How was the kingdom of heaven taken? By violence, man. Huh? They shall come all for violence. Their faces shall sup up as the east wind. These niggas, Habakkuk 2, they just take what they want and keep it moving. They shall gather the captivity as the sand. And that was talking about Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel. But now all nations is under the thumb of the so-called white man. And they shall scoff at the kings, Israel, and the princes, Israel, shall be a scorn unto them. They shall deride every Lord, every stronghold, for they shall heap dust and take it. That's them, man. The Roman Empire, man. The Greeks, the Romans, the American Empire, man. It's the same ones. Let me get this piece up here. So, this is Ezekiel 35. Got a couple more here. Ezekiel 35 and 1. Remember, again in Matthew 11 and 12, the kingdom of heaven suffered violence, and the violent took it by force. Ezekiel 35 and 1. Moreover, the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it, and say unto it, Thus saith the Lord power, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand upon thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel, the sons of Israel, by what, Lord? By the force of the sword. What happened in Matthew 11 and 12? The kingdom of heaven suffers violence, and the violence took it by force, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by force of the sword. In the time of their calamity, in the time of their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith Yahweh power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee, since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. And to prove to you that the so-called white man don't hate blood, in fact, he loved the taste of blood in his mouth. They eat their steaks that way. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. And I will fill his mountains with his slain men, Edomite men, and women, in thy hills, and in thy valleys, and in all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. I will make thee perpetual desolations, and thy cities shall not return, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh, because thou hast said, these two nations, the northern and southern kingdom, and these two countries, Israel and Samaria, shall be mine, and we will possess it, whereas the Lord was there. Therefore, as I live, saith Yahweh power, I will even do according to thine anger. And Esau has had a man. I don't even know the word for the anger that the so-called white man has against so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians because of the birthright. There's not a word for the hatred, for the anger that this bastard have for us. There's not a word for it, man. And according to thine envy, and this is it right here. The so-called white man envy you, Jake. And you slow-bellied dumbass niggas, you dumbass women too. You want to get blonde weave. You want to look like the so-called white woman, but she want to look like the Israelite woman. The so-called white woman want to look like any of our so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, West Indian, and Haitian women. And they can't. They never will. And the so-called white man envy you, Jake. So the best thing he can do is make you go off because they can't be us. They showed you in the movie Get Out. They can't be us. They want to be us, man. And according to thine envy, you know what envy means, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them, and I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee. And this verse right here, I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee. That's that Sirach 36. Let me read it real quick. Didn't the Lord say, envy thou not the oppressor and choose none of his ways? Because they really envy us, man. Nah, in Ecclesiastes 36, the Lord say, this is what we telling the Lord right here. Have mercy upon us, O Yahweh, power of all, and behold us, and send thy fear upon all the nations that seek not after thee. Lift up thy hand against the strange nations, and let them see thy power. As thou wast sanctified in us before them, so be thou magnified among them before us, and let them know thee as we have known thee, which is in judgment, that there is no power but only thy own power. That's what it's saying right here. I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee. Beautiful. Can't wait. Lord willing, we get to see it. And thou shalt know that I am Yahweh, and that I have heard all the blasphemies. And this is what I want to get to. All the blasphemies which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel, saying, they are laid desolate, they are given us to consume. Thus with your mouth ye have boasted against me, and have multiplied your words against me. I have heard them. Thus saith Yahweh power, when the whole earth rejoiceth, I will make thee desolate. Huh? As thou didst rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel, because it was desolate, so what I do unto thee, thou shalt be desolate. And the Lord opened up and made it clear, O Mount Seir, and all Idumea, all you Idumeans, you Edomites, you so-called white people, even all of it, and they shall know that I am Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Now, right here in 13, the Lord said, thus with your mouth ye have boasted against me, and have multiplied your words against me. I have heard them. And I bring this out all the time when I read this. Remember, in Job 9:24, the earth was given to the hand of the wicked. Guess what happened? The Lord gave him a mouth to boast. The Lord gave him this. That's why I read in Psalm 75 before the Lord say, lift not up. Let me read it again from the phone. The Lord be playing chess, man. Been playing chess. Psalms 75:4. It reads, I said unto the fools, deal not foolishly, and to the wicked, lift not up your horn, lift not up the horn, lift not up your horn on high, speak not with a stiff neck. And what did he do? This is Revelation 13:5. And there was given unto him a mouth, speaking great things, and what? And blasphemies. And power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God. That's what it said in Ezekiel 35. In Ezekiel. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. Matthew 11:12. The kingdom of heaven suffered violence, and the violent took it by force. That's what happened. When you read about the Greeks, when you read about the Romans, the American Empire, it was given unto them to make war with the saints, starting with Gad and Reuben and Issachar, and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. See, guess what though? Going back to the point, the Lord's judgment is a ring. Now, remember, again, I'm going to keep mentioning this, and I do lessons with it all the time. I'm going to keep throwing it out there. The kingdom of heaven suffered violence, which are you Hebrew Israelites, and the violent took it by force, right? This is Ezekiel 7:20. It reads, as for the beauty of his ornament, He set it in majesty, but they made the images of their abominations and of their detestable things therein. Therefore have I set it far from them. Set what far from us? Israel, Jerusalem. And I will give it into the hand of strangers for a prey. That prey was what it said in Revelation 13, 40 and 2 months. And I will give it into the hand of the stranger for a prey, and to the wicked of the earth for a spoil, and they shall pollute it. What's going on in the land of Israel right now? It's being polluted, man. With parades, with rainbow parades, and weapons of war, man. My face will I turn also from them, and they shall pollute my secret place, which is Jerusalem. That's why I said in Isaiah 26 and 10, let favor be showed to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness, where he deal unjustly, he will not behold the majesty of the Lord. For the robber shall enter into it and defile it. Make a chain, for the land is full of bloody crimes, and the city is full of what? Again, a third time, violence. And this is what we was doing in Israel, but this is what they doing now. Look, verse 24. Wherefore will I bring the worst of the heathen? This is what the Lord did to us. Wherefore will I bring the worst of the heathen, and they shall possess their houses. I will also make the pomp of the strong to cease, and their holy places shall be defiled. Right? Now check this out. Closing precept. Because what Esau did to us, right? For our wickedness, the Lord said, wherefore I will bring the worst of the heathen. And I make this point all the time. The Lord brought the worst of the heathen to the Israelites, right? To destroy us. That's why I said Matthew 11:12, the kingdom of heaven suffered violence, and the violent took it by force, right? I know it. I know I'm racist. I sure am. How you know? How you know? So the Lord said he was going to bring the worst of the heathen to destroy Jerusalem, which he did, right? So the Lord racist. Did you know the Lord was racist? How about that? So, if the Lord brought the worst of the heathen in Jerusalem in 70 AD, which was so-called white people, okay, that's who took down Jerusalem, the Romans. So obviously they racist too, you slow belly. And do you know the difference between racist and prejudice? I don't think you do, because if you did, you wouldn't have said I was racist. But that means you don't know nothing. That means I can tell you a slow belly, eat a Sheetamite. You a slow belly. Go look at the word racist and prejudice. So the Lord said he brought the worst of the heathen to us, right? Because we was in Jerusalem living wicked, right? Following worshiping idols, right? So what the Lord gonna do to the so-called white man, to the American Edomites? He's gonna bring, look at this. He's gonna bring the same worst of the heathens, but it's gonna be their own brethren. Because the BRICS nation is gonna destroy America with missiles. Ezekiel 28:7. Behold, therefore will I bring strangers upon thee. Who, Lord? The terrible of the nations. And they shall, see, this said the terrible of the nations. These will be the BRICS nations, joined with Saudi Arabia, Argentina, Turkey joining, Ethiopia, and Ethiopia, Libya. They all joining the BRICS, man. The allies of America is joining the BRICS. Behold, therefore will I bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. See, the Lord is going to use Edomites to destroy Edomites, as we always say. Revelation 13. You get no love from me. Revelation 13 in verse 1. And I stood upon the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea. The sea is the people, having 7 heads and 10 horns. 7 heads, we know who they are. Germana Major, Germana Minor, French, Spanish, Greeks, and the Romans. And 10 horns. 10 horns of the EU nations. It was known as the economic, what it was, the EEC. It say, in the 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard. That leopard, this beast system of the Edomites, began with the Greeks, Alexander. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear. Who's a bear today? Russia got a logo as a bear. And his mouth as the mouth of a lion. This lion is the Roman Empire. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. And that seat is in 1 Maccabees 8, verse 15. That's when the Senate was started. That's when the presidency was started with the Roman Empire. A man ruled once every year. When in America, it's every 4 or 8 years. All prophecy. But this bear and this leopard is Edomite, so-called white people. The leopard is the Greeks, and the bear is Russia, which is the end of their rulership. That's why the allies of America is joining the BRICS, because every nation is tired of America being a bully, taking all the resources. They got an order. You can go to Google. It's called economic warfare, where they put tariffs and embargoes and sanctions on other nations. And when they can't produce or come up with it, they go in with their economic hitmen. Go look that up, and they go in and take what they want, man. They go in and take what they want. And going back to this video, I'm about to close. Let's play some more of this. And if I'm racist, why you here? You got to be a slow belly, because you don't even know what racist mean. Tell how slow you is. And they ain't going to even cuss you out. You don't know no better. We know now you heathens are beneath us. You are beneath. You so-called white people are beneath so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians, which are the 12 tribes of Israel. You are beneath us. I shouldn't even be talking to you right now. We don't need your validation. You are nobody. You a cave beast. Did you know the word Caucasian literally means cave dweller? Did you know that? Go look that up. Find out how racist that is. Let's play some more of this video. Because you Edomites, your kingdom is through.
It's good that you mention our own country's federal system here. I can tell you, it's complex, it's complicated, if I say, and even the average Belgian doesn't understand it. But hey, it works.
It's better than war, isn't it?
Yeah, and we go about our business every day here in Brussels. We don't fight each other. On the contrary, we have a lot of discussions, and we say, "Oh no, this and you, the French thing, this and that," and afterwards we go have a beer together. I'm simplifying here. It's more complicated, but you are raising a point there, namely that this model could very well be something for Ukraine, and who knows, maybe for Israel Palestine. It's more complex.
Exactly. And by
sometimes a familiar face can be terrifying. Dream, who will you turn to?
by the way, this was negotiated. Ukraine actually negotiated, signed, sealed, and backed by the UN Security Council, and then completely ignored. And I know why in the United States, because big campaign contributors said, oh, we don't want a federal system in Ukraine. And so the politicians jump right into line also, because they're ignorant and arrogant, because they say it doesn't really matter. We are the ones that are going to be able to push this through. Think of the arrogance of overthrowing Yanukovych. This is what, and who was the point person on that? Our current Deputy Secretary of State, Victoria Nuland. You know, the famous one who's caught on the phone. Fuck the Europeans, if you'll excuse my language, but that's her language. Caught on tape. That's your closest ally in Europe. Isn't that wonderful? Come on.
Yes,
We
absolutely.
can do better than this.
Now to go back to the present situation, we know that any negotiation is out of the question for the moment in Russia, Ukraine, for reasons that you have already elaborated on others ways.
So yeah, man. Esau Edom, the so-called white man kingdom is falling, man. Hey, and I'm gonna close out and say this. If the Lord wasn't racist, Matter of fact, let's just show it. If the Lord wasn't racist, why would he separate the sons of Adam? Don't worry, I'll wait. If any of you out there think I'm racist, how much more the Lord? This is, let's close with this, Deuteronomy, just in case she's still there watching in the background. This is Deuteronomy 32:8. And it reads, this is a racist verse. When the Most High, Deuteronomy 32:8, when the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. Is this not a racist statement right here? Is this not a racist verse? Why would the Lord separate the nations if he loved everybody? Don't worry, I'll wait. The Lord told Rebekah and Isaac, 2 nations was in her womb, 2 manner of people that shall be what? Separated from her bowels. The Lord racist, you dumb Edomite. The Lord was edifying. Got to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rekah, Kodash. The honors to the apostles and the bishop and elders of Great Millstone who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, whether accepted or not. In the sincere salutation to all the arguing, pushing this truth and believing this truth like the 4 winds of the earth, the entire world, shedding light to the whole elect. Shalom to the Akwat who are listening, learning. You few sisters who are listening, learning to while tuning in. May Yahweh Shema Shah continue to bless you in your houses. May the blessing of election be upon your houses. Until the next time, I say Shalom. Wa Uba Uba. The water for your precepts, the water